the Board of Directors of Texas Islamic Council and myself, I welcome you all, the esteemed guests tonight, to our annual banquet and the general body meeting. So a little bit about the Islamic Council. Islamic Council of North Texas was formed in 2007 by the Muslim leadership as a community-based non-profit organization. This was a response to fill the need for an umbrella organization representing and advocating on behalf of the growing number of mosque and Muslim organizations in North Texas. By pooling resources and expertise, we tackle diverse needs of our community and enact meaningful change on a larger scale. It now has an impressive number of organizations and mosques under its leader membership. And for you all tonight, we have put together a great program. So it will be a little longer, but you guys have all your refreshments, snacks, food, so help yourself to that. And I will start the program by inviting Imam Dr. Zafar Anjum to start the program with few verses from Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون صدق الله العظيم. Today I am under weather, so please bear with me with my voice. Although I was giving the khutbah today, the Jummah prayer time, at that time the voice was working perfectly fine. So someone told me that you are probably relaxing at the time of khutbah, you are under pressure, so you are performing better. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and good evening to all of you. You know, these verses that I recited from chapter number 3, 102 and 103, we always listen these ayat. Every Friday we listen, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih. The message in these ayat is very strong and is always relevant. From the time of our beloved Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we know the context in which these ayat were revealed, and today this message is still relevant. The unity in all our Muslim organizations, Muslim groups, and probably you all agree with me that at this time when we are facing so many challenges, this unity is very, very, very crucial. This is the job of NTIC, to bring all the leadership together on the same forum so that we can collaborate with each other. We can, inshallah, inspire our own narratives, and we can work together, inshallah, for the good cause that is good for our own Muslim community, our congregations, our community, they are looking for the leadership, that what direction they should go to. So this is not the agenda of the meeting today to discuss any particular issue of this sort, but it is providing this opportunity that inshallah we can facilitate this type of the discussions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this meeting very productive, very successful, goal-oriented inshallah. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma la tufarriq jam'ana hadha illa bi dhanbin maghfur wa sa'yin mashkur wa amalin salihin maqbul wa tijaratin lan tabur ya aziz ya ghafur. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khair khalqi sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Imam Anjum. And now I will request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem. At this point, I will invite our president of the organization, Brother Majid Qazi. Brother Majid, please.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Since we already have our snacks, so if you are having hard time turning this way, you can turn the chairs this way so that you won't have that neck pain that may cause, by just turning this right and left, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for attending and honoring us on this blessed and auspicious occasion. This is the first banquet that NTIC is hosting in the honor of our esteemed members of our organizations. We wanted to amplify some of the accomplishment that we have done over the years as NTIC. Our NTIC example is like a university without students, where you can see a lot of work is being done, like an example of a think tank, but not a lot of students are out there. There's no actual structure, actual building that you can see it. Or another example I can give you is, once you are building a structure, when we were building our mosque, we spent about $200,000 because the city made us to dug a line for our sewer system from our property 3 houses down, and our congregation would keep asking us that where is that $200,000? But that $200,000 was actually under the ground that we could not show it to anyone. So that's exactly what NTIC is doing. NTIC is always working, but we have not been able to amplify some of the accomplishment and successes. So that's what we are trying to, inshallah, bring it to your attentions. First and foremost, we are very proud and alhamdulillah blessed that we were able to collaborate and coordinate with the multi-faith, interfaith, civic engagement. We were able to table 7 bills at the state legislature, and out of 7, 5 of them have become the law now. What are those laws? We have our brother Sharik Ghani who would be giving you the rundown. What are those laws? That is something that we were able to accomplish, sponsored by Muslims with the help of our esteemed representatives, senators at the state level. What we have done is that we were able to engage with the civic society across North Texas. We were able to put 700 Muslims, Christians, and other denominations under one roof, where we celebrated unlikely event at Northwood Church. That was due to the effort that NTIC was delivering on the ground on behalf of your organization, on behalf of every other organization. We were also very fortunate that we were able to bring, with the help of ISNA, 21,000 people in North Texas, first time ever. ISNA convention took place in Dallas, where we gathered 21,000 Muslim under one roof, alhamdulillah. We also started a project, it's called a history project, with the help of Brother Riyadh, who can give us a rundown down the road, where we wanted to make sure that every single entity, every single institution that was established in North Texas has its data. When was it founded? What was the theme behind it? What was the motivation behind it? How many members go to that masjid or institution? Whether it is Islamic school, Islamic institution, or a masjid. And now we are adding one more thing to it. We are going to pool together a data, compile a data of all Muslims living in North Texas. If you remember last year when we hosted Dallas Mayor at the iftar dinner, in his speech he said his estimation was just in Dallas County we have a little over 500,000 Muslims living. Just imagine the 7 other counties that are being represented by North Texas Islamic Council, how many Muslims are living. But we don't have a data to present to our politicians, our lawmakers to make a decision. So inshallah, that work is underway, and then we want to present it to you inshallah within a couple of years, because it's a lengthy process that we want to undertake. These are some of the initiatives that we have undertaken, but some of them have not been amplified at the masjid level. We have heavily vested our efforts, interfaith, intrafaith, civic engagement, and making sure that all communities come together at a unified narrative. As a 501c3 organization, we are not allowed to endorse any of the party or candidate. However, one thing that we strongly amplify, that every vote must get counted for. And for that, we need help from all the masajid to encourage people to make sure that they become part and parcel of civic engagement. So that's all I'm going to say this time. And now the contest begins from here on. Every one of our speakers, inshallah, will finish their speeches less than 3 minutes. That's the contest that we are going to have. Before I do that, I have a surprise. I have a surprise today for our next speaker. And for that, when I mention his name, you will probably know that who I'm talking about. He did not know about this. We kept it secret because we wanted to honor. You know, when you see a lamp, when it gives the light, there is a darkness underneath it because nobody pays attention to the lamp that is actually bringing the light. He is our global leader. He represents Muslims not on US level, but at a global level. He has become an icon of Muslims. His effort to bring the unity and bringing all the Muslims together, all the Muslim organization together, has been witnessed by every one of us on this setting that you can vouch for that, bi'Iznillah ta'ala. So he is the former president of ISNA. He is one of the founder of NTIC. He is my mentor. So we are going to honor him with the award for his legacy leadership, for bringing the Muslims together, nurturing them, encouraging them. So that is our very dear brother Azhar Aziz. So I would like to request our state representative Bojani and our state representative Terry Miza and our first Muslim city councilman Brother Abdul Habib to come on the stage and please give us the honor to present this award to Brother Azhar Aziz. And I would also like to request Dr. Sharjar, who has come all the way from Lahore, Pakistan. We are going to talk about his contribution to the community. If she can join us, please.
Congratulations. Behind us.
With that, Brother Azhar Aziz.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. My dear brothers and sisters, my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah's peace, blessings and mercy be upon you all. I'm truly honored and I'm speechless because I'm standing in front of so many pioneers in this audience who are far more deserving than me. And throughout this journey, this is my 30th year here in Dallas. And throughout this 30 years, as Brother Munzar always reminds us, we were all together in this journey and we were able to do a lot of amazing things in this metropolitan area. And for that, I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost, and to this amazing, beautiful community of Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know, my dear brother Mujib has been extremely kind and gracious. Actually, he's the one who is behind a lot of work that NTIC does. He is the engine of this board. So please give a round of applause to this amazing leader. I want to really thank him for this beautiful surprise. I want to share this with you because a lot of newcomers are here in this Dallas-Fort Worth area. They don't know the history of this metropolitan area. There were only a handful of masajids. The Dallas Masjid al-Islam, which is now represented by our beloved Imam Abdul Jami. Brother Mustafa was part of this masjid for many years, Imam Khalid. The Dallas Central Mosque, led by our beloved Imam Yusuf, Brother Munzar and Brother Imran and so many others, mashallah, served on the board of this amazing organization. The Islamic Association of Tarrant County, Brother Aslam is here, Dr. Farooq Salood and others. And then we had the masjid in Denton. So these were the only masajids in the metropolitan area. And then we used to have Jummah prayers at SMU and UTD. So this was the overall activity. When you read the books of Brother Riyadh and his research work, you will find out how these masajids popped up and how this work started. So 20 years back, almost close to 20 years back, we thought of this NTIC, North Texas Islamic Council. And the original folks who were part of this effort was Brother Jamal Garbiya, Brother Mahmoud Iqal, Brother Hassan Hai, we had Muhammad Ali Biari, so many of us. We thought that we should inshallah have a coordinating council. And the idea behind establishing North Texas Islamic Council was to coordinate, to collaborate, to cooperate, and to communicate, following the four important C's that is taught in management. And this effort has brought so much of khair. Masajids were here in the metropolitan area that popped up at a very fast pace in last 10-15 years, but nobody knew their imams, nobody knew who was running the masajids. So we were able to create a platform where people were able to engage. Through this effort, we were also able to bring 45 imams from the metropolitan area. Many of our esteemed imams are present over here, and may Allah bless them for their sacrifices, for their leadership. And they were able to engage with each other, and so much of khair came out with their collaboration and with their cooperation, and they were able to provide the rightful guidance to the Muslim community here in North Texas area. So this effort should continue. We have no other choice but to strengthen the hands of NTIC so that the NTIC can become a voice of the Muslim community here in Dallas-Fort Worth area, and also they are able to engage with our friends from the other faiths. Today it's an absolute delight and honor to be with our esteemed mayor from Irving, Rick Stoffer, our esteemed friend, the State Rep Terry Meza, State Rep Salman Bhojani, our very beloved City Council member Abdul Khabir, and each one of them represents a beautiful story. The story that tells us that dreams in this great nation of ours can be accomplished. The opportunities and possibilities in this great land of ours is there. While we are celebrating all the good work that is being done in the area of interfaith work, intrafaith work, engagement with people of other faiths, interreligious work, outreach to different law enforcement agencies, outreach to elected officials, we also remember our brothers and sisters who are going through difficult time in Gaza. As you all know, since October of last year, close to 43,000 people are dead. 1.9 million people are internally displaced. This is one of the greatest tragedies that we are seeing in front of our eyes, and all of us should do our utmost best to remember them in your prayers and do everything possible that is within our capacity to contribute towards peace. I have been going to Gaza for the last 20 years. I know the nook and corner of Gaza. I can tell you stories after stories. I can cry, I can make you cry, but that's not going to basically serve the purpose. But one thing is definitely sure, that each one of us should make sure that wherever humanity and human beings are suffering, we should be that voice, because this is what our religion teaches us, and this is what we know from the life of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the example that we have in front of us. So in conclusion, my dear brothers and sisters, I will share this analogy, which is one of my favorite analogy. I have mentioned this several times in my Jummah khutbahs, but it is a very important lesson that we all can listen to and we can reflect. You know, the smallest bird within the bird family is sparrow. It can fit in between these two fingers. Just imagine the size of this small bird. Then imagine the beak of this bird. And then imagine how much water this beak can hold. When Namrud created this unprecedented fire to throw Ibrahim alayhi salam, Prophet Abraham, into it, he was preparing this fire that they have never seen before. And he was about to throw Ibrahim alayhi salam, was preparing to throw Prophet Abraham into this fire. So this small bird took this tiny drop of water in its beak and flew all the way at the top of the fire and was trying to drop this tiny drop of water into that fire. When the sparrow was asked, what is your tiny, small drop of water going to do to this unprecedented fire? The bird responded by saying that on the day of judgment, when I stand in front of God Almighty, I will never be embarrassed. I will not be ashamed. I will not feel bad, because I will tell God Almighty that this was my ability, this was my capacity, this was my strength, and I did my part. So today, we are urging each one of you, not only members of the Muslim community, but our friends from the other faiths, that all of us has to do our utmost best to contribute towards peace and try to remove the sufferings of our brothers and sisters, not only here in our own backyard, but around the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm very honored and I'm very humbled to receive this recognition. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. Thank you so much. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakumullah khairan, Nazar Bhai. Thank you very much for your continued contribution and your leadership. We are very proud of you. If I may request a couple of seats on the stage so we can bring our esteemed guest at the stage. Now I would like to request our own representative, our pride, our hero. He represents us at the state level. He started off as a councilman at the city ULIS, and today he is with us. Without any further ado, for 3 minutes, Brother Salman Bhojani.
Thank you for
I'm going to start with a 3-minute timer. All right. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. May peace be with you. It's such an honor to be here, especially with these esteemed audience, esteemed guests, State Representative Terry Meza, Council Member Abdul Qadir Kabir. It's an honor to be here. As you all know, my name is Salman Bojani. I represent East Tehran Khani, that includes several cities, and it's an honor to represent all of us at the Texas Capitol. I want to recognize, two people here that's in the audience that I always forget to recognize. So one of them is my better half, Nima Bojani. She's been by my side through thick and thin and always been there for me. And then right next to her is my legislative director, Sumanpreet Dosanjh, who's been amazing at filing bills in the Texas House of Representatives, has a lot of experience. So please reach out to her if there's anything that we can do to help you. So next, I just want to give you all hope. I know there's our brothers and sisters in Gaza and Sudan and West Bank are being impacted by war. So please, as you have a meal today, just pray for them and send them blessings, because that's going to help quite a bit. And let me know how I can be helpful. We've got Mustafa Carroll, who's doing great work for CARE, and we've got so many great community members doing great work. From my part, I'm trying to do in terms of legislation. So what Brother Mujib Qazi talked about, I filed a bill because every time I would go pray for Ramadan or for Eid in the morning, my kids would tell me, Dad, we got a STAR test on that day, and they cannot pray Eid namaz with me in the morning because they have to go to school. I filed a bill that never happens to any other kid in any family. Alhamdulillah, it passed, but not only for Eid, but for Vaisakhi, for Dashera, Diwali, any religious holy day. No child should have to choose between practicing their faith and going to school, because they're both important. So this time around, this year in Eid, I got so many calls, emails, text messages from parents telling me that this is the first time in their entire life in America that they've been able to say Eid namaz as the entire family with their kids, right? Because they took time off. Thank you. And so we have a lot of, this office has a lot of power. Please utilize this office as a Muslim office, as an interfaith office, because it's so important to talk to our brothers and sisters from other faiths, because every faith talks about the same thing: do good unto others. And so I think that's where we can find commonality, and that's what exactly I used with my colleagues in the State House. Because if I said, hey, everybody needs to be off on Eid, you think they'll say yes? No, right? But I said Christmas, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Diwali, Dashera, all of the faiths, and that's how we can be doing the work. I'll try to finish early before 3 minutes here. But again, thank you so much for being here. Just reach out to me. I'm here to help y'all. Utilize my office to make a difference in our state. Our state, people tell me, oh, this is such a red state. How are you as a Democrat freshman doing so much good work? It's by reaching out to the other side and saying, hey, we're the same. We're all Texans first. We have kids. We want to make sure that we can pass on this to others as well. But thank you so much. Please reach out if there's anything you do. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. I forgot, I have a resolution to the same place. I'll ask Representative Terry Meza to come up as well. I want to present this to Brother Mujib Qazi. He's doing such amazing work for our community. Give him a big round of applause. And I'm going to present this to him.
Yeah, y'all can join us, please. Azhar bhai, Kabir, Habir bhai, come on. आइए बिस्मिल्लाह. Habir bhai, आइए स्वाब होगा इंशाल्लाह. Thank you so much. We need to give another award. You stay here. All three of you stay here. Congratulations. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Brother Salman Bojani. Give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. We have a very special award that we want to honor and recognize a family. If you all remember that my predecessor, Dr. Amr Shakil, he have done so much for our community in North Texas, not just only in North Texas, but in North America. He was such a great leader, a mentor, a selfless man who have left the legacy behind that we are all blessed to mentor and nourish with. His family is here, so we just wanted to honor Dr. Amr Shakil for his contribution for our community. We have his wife with us. If you can come on the stage with the family, with son, and if we can have the project manager, brothers, Dr. Zubair with you as well. We want to award them for, we have an award for Dr. Amr Shakil and his family in honor of his service to God, faith, humanity, country, and community. Please. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good job.
It's a very emotional moment for all
Yeah.
of us. Dr. Yasmin should say a couple of
Yes. So I would request Dr. Yasmin to say a few words, please.
Thank you so much for this wonderful award. I'm very humbled, thankful, and grateful to you all. My husband, Amr Shakil, loved each and every person I think that he met. And he had a lot of care for his community. I wanted to share something that was very close to his heart. That was the clinics that he started here in the Metroplex. We moved here in 1998 after we both finished our residency in Chicago. And he one day tells me that I think the mosques should have a clinic in it because mosques should have all the needs met for all the Muslims. They should go to the masjid and get all the answers. So I said, oh, okay. So we were close to INT at that time, and he spoke to the board and they agreed to start a clinic there. So we kept waiting for the staff there to help us to put up the otoscopes and have an exam table or something, but it was quite delayed. So one day he just picked up a drill and we went up there and he put all the equipment up on the wall, and there was an old chair and a table and a donated table, like exam table there. And we were ready for business. So he was the first one to start. I didn't start volunteering, but at that time nobody was aware of the clinic. So he would sit there after Maghrib prayers until Isha. So anybody who is sick, he would say, come in and I will see you. So that is how it all started. And alhamdulillah, now it is a multi-specialty clinic. We have all kinds of specialists that rotate through there. And it started to have an ophthalmologist there. There was also a dental clinic. And that clinic was kind of a blessing because we also had a lot of international medical students who were looking for residencies that would come and rotate through there, and they were exposed to the American system. And they were trained there before they went into residencies. And alhamdulillah, I think more than 50 doctors went through there that got trained, got letters from Dr. Shakil and pursued in their journey on medicine. So on top of that, there were young students, Muslims and non-Muslims that would come and do volunteer work there. The doctors that came through there, reflects that his love for humanity. Basically, they were not all Muslims. They were Hindus, they were Sikhs, they were Chinese. I mean, you can imagine anybody from anywhere. These doctors would come and rotate through there. There were South Americans. And it was a wonderful lamp, and it was kind of replicated all through the Metroplex. And I think we have close to 8 clinics now in different mosques, and that was one of his projects.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. We also want to recognize that Dr. Shakil prepared an SOP document during the COVID-19 that was utilized across North America, not only in the Muslim organization, but in even the non-Muslim, the churches, the synagogues, because it was such a well-documented and very well experienced, because that's what he does for living. So that those kind of contribution that he have done, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him. We miss him dearly, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him for every single thing that he has done. With that, I would like to request for 3 minutes our Representative Terry Miza to share a few words. I know she has been block walking a lot. She is tired, so she only wants 3 minutes.
I'm going to take 1 second.
Sure.
I just realized there's a really important person in this room. And he's not here usually, he's from Houston. I just saw Sharagan.
Yes, he's
still here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, an amazing person. He's the one that has coordinated a lot of work, so I just want to quickly recognize him. I forgot that.
So I've been warned if I go over 3 minutes, there's a trap door here that opens up. Is that right? What you told me? And then I drop through, so. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Buenas noches. Namaskar. Peace be with you. I'm proud to represent a very diverse community, so I get to use all those phrases. I'm very proud of the North Texas Islamic Council. Had to look. Because each of you have your own purpose for your each group that's part of this council, and yet you come together for this common goal of interfaith action. I've been working together with the Islamic community for 20 years now. Seems like a long time, huh? So 20 years, and I started out with, because I was a civil rights activist through LULAC, which is a Hispanic civil rights organization, and with my friends Aftab Siddiqui and Syed Fayaz Hassan from Arlington. I first got really involved with the community here in Irving when a previous mayor, not the one we have now, but the other one before him, put before the city council a resolution to support a bill that was nicknamed the Anti-Sharia Law Bill. It was very unnecessarily divisive in the community, and so we rallied in front of the ICI one Friday morning in support of them. And it went from there with Deli Combo, who's been at that time in charge of women's services, asking me to come to the masjid, to the ICI, and help register voters. Up until then, as always, the Muslim community was very strong in civic engagement, doing good things out in the community, but they weren't so much about political involvement, and that kind of got their attention that maybe they did need to be a little bit more politically involved. We had a state representative then at the time that I'm proud to say that I unseated, that thought that he didn't have to worry or care about what he was doing to your community because you didn't vote. So he felt perfectly comfortable going to Austin and voting against your interests. So we changed that, didn't we? I was also glad to be invited to Eid that we used to have. I guess maybe we still are going to have them, where we had dinners and the rabbi was there, priest was there. So it was really beautiful, all the interfaith activity at the Eids and all the good civic support. I've been with the ICI when they were doing food drives and handing out food with lines up and down the parking lot coming through and helping them load up food in their cars. So I was glad to be able to do that. On the we had a list in here of many bills that were passed, and it's a good list. It's one for you to be very proud of as an organization that you helped do all those things. And in talking to Mujib, I told him that there's one thing that's not on the list, and it's a bill that I had, that the idea came from the ICI community. Yasser, where are you? Anyway, there he is, Yasser. I know when I went in looking for him one time at the ICI, I said, is Yasser Arafat here? And the man I asked stopped and stared at me for a few seconds. And he went, he's dead. No, not that Yasser Arafat, the Pakistani Yasser. Anyway, the fun times at the ICI. It was a cemetery bill. And the concern that was brought to me was that sometimes in the community. People had to travel outside, even the county, to go bury their loved ones. Sometimes a 45-minute trip there, 45 minutes back. Because we had a rule that in the urban counties, they could not expand the cemeteries. I guess in urban counties, land is very valuable and they didn't want it for that use. So I filed a bill, and I'm glad to say, I think it took us 2 sessions to get it to pass. Sometimes that happens. And so we got a bill that allowed for the expansion of the cemeteries within the urban areas. So that now that you can acquire plots or acquire property so that you won't have to make those long drives and you can have your loved ones buried near you in your homes where you are now. So I'm glad to be able to do that. Sometimes bills take a couple of times, and sometimes I forget. I was very proudly saying that we had passed the bill about Eid and all that, and then time finished. The truck doors weren't open. Salam Bujani reminded me that they'd only passed in the House. I forgot that things have to go over to the Senate. So I'm glad he came along and corrected that and got it passed by the House and the Senate. And do we really need a Senate? I don't think we do. But thank you. It's good to be with you here this evening as always. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The reason I reminded her because she told me that she sometimes forgets, so I have to remind her. So with that, I'm gonna move along and without giving a whole lot of bios, because we have a very short window of time and we want to get over with the rest of our line of extremely great speakers. So I'm gonna dive into our brother Sharik Ghani, who has traveled all the way from Houston, because he is the one who is the front lead and we are just the supporting entities with him to work with him to get those laws passed at the state level. So with that, Sharik Ghani for 3 minutes.
Do I need a mic? Can everyone hear me without a mic? No? No? Okay, it's not gonna happen. All right. Very good. I move around a lot, so.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
In my county, of Fort Bend County, there was a woman in distress and she was doing about 100 miles an hour. And she was driving through Fort Bend County and she made it into Harris County and she was going deep into Harris County when a trooper pulled her over. And when the trooper pulled her over, she was in distress. And she was going 100 miles an hour and she couldn't speak. She was frozen, she was scared, she was panicked. Asked her for her driver's license and insurance. She froze. She didn't have her driver's license. She tried to explain that she didn't have her insurance. She didn't have anything. But she was driving so fast, she had almost sideswiped another car that was caught on the officer's camera. So he took her in. He took her in for reckless driving. And he arrested her, took her into detention. And she has her hearing. And she's standing in front of the judge and it's a judge on TV. And the judge asks her why she was speeding and all she can think about is, I am the first in my family who has ever been to jail. And she couldn't speak. She was frozen. And she was charged with reckless endangerment and a whole host of other issues. She was let out on bail for $500. But what the judge didn't know was that she was fleeing from her abusive husband, who had taken away her insurance, her driver's license, her wallet, her feminine hygiene products, all of her clothes, took her kids away, and she was running away from him. My name is Sharik Ghani. I'm the executive director of Minaret Foundation. Our job is to bring Muslims, Jews, Christians, people of all faith together from multi-faith and civic engagement. It's to make the world a little bit smaller, and our focus is Texas. The first part of what we do is the barbecues, the discussions, the dodgeballs. We have some great programs that do have a competitive spirit in terms of food drives. We'd love to bring it to Dallas. But then after we widen the relationship, our focus is how do we deepen these ties? Because it's nice to say, hey, we did something interfaith. But after we hold hands and sing Kumbaya, what do we do next? And for us, that next step is civic engagement. working with amazing representatives such as our very own Salman Bojani and Ms. Meza. Working with them to introduce and pass legislation that doesn't just benefit the Muslim community, because the woman in this story is a Hispanic Catholic. But this isn't a Catholic issue. This isn't a Jewish issue. It's not a Christian issue. It's not a Muslim issue. It's not a Sikh Hindu. It's not a Hindu issue. This is an everyone issue. Abuse of our women happens in every culture and every faith tradition. We were able to introduce legislation with Democrats and Republicans that essentially said every judge in the state of Texas now has to learn by law what family violence looks like in their courtroom, to avert issues that happened to Ms. Garcia in Harris County. And we did that through a Muslim, Jewish, and Christian coalition. And we have imams that I see here that came to the Capitol with Mujib, representing North Texas Islamic Council. And every time they would go in front of the Senate Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence, or in the House Committee of Criminal Jurisprudence, you'd have, I'm Imam such and such, representing North Texas Islamic Council. I'm the executive director at a mosque in Dallas, representing North Texas Islamic Council. And for the first time, legislators heard over and over again people from North Texas Islamic Council coming out of the woodwork. This isn't an issue about refugees or Islamophobia or Palestine or Kashmir or India. This isn't any issue that's stereotypical to the Muslim community. This is about women. How many of you here have children with special needs? Can I see a show of hands? Children with special needs? How many of you know children of special needs? Did you know in the state of Texas, in the 2018 school year, 45,000 children were arrested in Texas public schools? Not in Pakistan, not in Saudi, in Texas, 45,000. 91% of them were children with special needs. Imagine that for a moment. An autistic child, a child who hasn't developed as maybe other children have, who are special in their own way. Very special in their own way. But the teacher doesn't understand them, and they have a combative relationship, and so what does she do? Not to her own fault, but she has the child arrested and removed from the classroom so she can continue teaching it. 45,000 in 1 year. We brought together Republicans and Democrats, Muslims and Jews and Christians. North Texas Islamic Council participated, and we eliminated that practice in the state of Texas. Governor Abbott signed that bill impacting 2.1 million children. It's not a Muslim issue. It's not a Christian issue. It's not a Jewish issue. It's an everyone issue. Because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not a messenger for the Arabs or the Quraysh. He wasn't the messenger for just the Muslims. He was a messenger for all of mankind. So it is our duty as Muslims to benefit not just ourselves and to look out for ourselves, but to look out for everyone, because that's what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would have done, right? Now, to tie it in, it is incredibly important, the work that North Texas Islamic Council does. Bringing everyone together, convening as many masajid and organizations together, the tireless work that the board and the executive committee does, because we are not just Muslims for our masajid, we are Muslims for the entire state of Texas. And when we work on legislation or anything related to civic engagement together with all faith communities, and everyone sees it, you know what they see? They don't just see a Muslim or an Arab or a Desi coming into their office. They see a Texan, their own neighbor, coming into their office who cares about their children as well. Brothers and sisters, continue to support the work of North Texas Islamic Council. Not just because of these issues, but also because of the issues that Ms. Meza has introduced, Mr. Bojani has introduced. We have to continue working together for the betterment of the entire state of Texas. And in Dallas, in North Texas, it begins at North Texas Islamic Council.
Thank you.
My name is Shari Ghani. I'm with Minaret Foundation. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our new and the next representative from Harris County, Shara Ghani. You know, he has touched upon a very important issue, and NTIC takes it very seriously. That is mental health. And we have invested a lot of time and energy and resources getting that training done. So without any further ado, our very dear sister, she is the CEO of Texas Muslim Women Foundation. She serves on the NTIC board, but she is the one who is the lead on mental health training available to all of you. And she also have on her portfolio that she help Muslims organization or the non-Muslim organizations to get hands on the funding that is available, the grant that is available. So with that, our dear sister Mona Kafil.
Assalamu alaikum. A woman in 3 minutes is a challenge. But as you have heard, that North Texas Islamic Council is invested in policy building, civic engagement, and interfaith conversations and dialogues. But one other thing that NTIC invests is mental health and trainings of imams, and also supporting organizations such as mine, which is Texas Muslim Women's Foundation, and especially one of the program, which is Elderly Abuse Program. NTIC has been supporting us, and they are our voice. All the board members that are here, they are on speed dial for all of us. Please know that if you and your organization is not a member of NTIC, please be a member. You get a voice in NTIC and you see the large impact. We as Muslims, whether we are at a masjid or a non-profit organization, we have to learn not to work in smaller organizations. We have to be part of a bigger umbrella with a bigger impact. Imagine if Sharik, Brother Azhar, Brother Mujib, when they go out for any politicians or even Brother Salman, when they say that NTIC is behind us, and in NTIC, the membership is of 100,000 people, imagine who will listen. That is the power. That is the power we want to build with NTIC. Jazakallah khair.
MashaAllah, give her a round of applause, finishing up at 2 minutes and 19 seconds. She has set a very high bar for the next speaker. Civic engagement, one of the most important pillars of our success. We are very fortunate to have a sister with us who is serving on Irving School Board, first Muslim female hijabi serving on school district in Irving. And she is going to give us lesson of life. Why should we not engage in civic engagement? With that, Sister Nuzhat Hai.
Jazakallah khair. My speech was 6 minutes, so I'm putting it down. Actually, the reason I'm putting it down is everybody is talking from their heart. And I figured, forget this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, respected guests. Yasser Arafat is going to come back in the spotlight right now. I live in Irving, quite a big city. I serve on the Irving School Board of Trustees. When I got elected, there were 35,000 students, 36 campuses, and we had a lot of issues with Muslim students. Almost maybe around 10% of the student population are Muslim students. And right about that time, I have an educational background. I've been in the industry for 40 years, and but it was in Islamic schools, private schools, some public schools, but not in Texas. And so when all these issues was happening, Brother Yasser, whose soul lives in Texas and in its communities and the issues, approached me quite a few times, at least 2 times that I know him and Brother Raed, and said, please run for the office. And I did not want to do that. I didn't know what it meant, what it did. And one day he sat me down and he really convinced me. And I thought, my better half, Hassan Hai, is there, and I looked at him, hoping he would do this to me, but he didn't. And I said, what does it take to be an elected official on the board? He took me just a few dinners. You just there, your presence is there, you look nice, you go to take pictures. I thought, that's not that bad, I can do that. I started running. I didn't know what an election meant till we started running, and we had to go knocking on doors and convincing people, why me? I was going to run for a position on the board that was mainly Republicans, and I'm a Democrat. Oh wait, I'm a Muslim Democrat. No wait, I'm a Muslim woman with a hijab. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. So my own board members actually, who I absolutely love right now, I think they are the best people that I work with, but they had no idea who I was, and I was very intimidating because you see terrorists and you see Muslims, and one of our own students was actually arrested for building a clock bomb. By the way, he works for NASA now. MashaAllah. So Brother Yasser was my mentor, the strength behind me, and we ran. I had two more opponents against me, and I ran for election, and I won by 86% of the votes. And one of the first persons to call and congratulate me was our very own Mayor Rick Stouffer. That meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me that day. But when I came on the board, I realized it was not dinners, and even though there is dinners and there is, taking pictures, but that's not what it was about. It was fighting for our kids. It was making my representation for a very underrepresented minority. It was letting them know that yes, I'm a woman, I'm a Muslim woman with a hijab, but I have brains under it. I can think for myself. I invited them to my house to let them know that my money is mine and Hassan's money is mine. The men don't oppress us. It was a whole new learning experience for them. This is my 7th year on the board. I've been through 2 elections, and this term I was unopposed. And that speaks volumes for our community. Thank you. And this is what I want. I want our youth, I want other people to get involved. Your community is yours. You are the voice of your community. Run for offices, go and do whatever civic engagement you want, because it doesn't get better unless we make it better. So, is it my 3 minutes? He's standing over my shoulder. So, Brother Majid, thank you for this.
Thank you so
much. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. We are right on time, alhamdulillah, and jazakallah khair to all the speakers for respecting the time, because I know it was a working day. You all have worked very hard. Some of the issues are so important that we generally don't get to amplify them and propagate it. But one thing that we are missing is that how can NTIC project its projects that it has undertaken, and some of them it has accomplished. For that we need to have resources, and resources we need to have professional help. How do we do that? In order for us to get that professional help, we have to deal with those people who are professionally savvy, those who are professional, who are journalists, who have media outlets, who we can work with. So with that, inshallah, I will, after this presentation, we will request some of the brothers and sisters who are with us that they can give us the guidelines, if it's possible at all, that we can use their services for a nominal or virtually no cost to us. But it is high time for us. Our Muslim community is contributing humongously in the communities everywhere. Every masjid is doing extraordinary job, whether it's the food distribution, whether it's the shelter, whether it's helping the refugees and what have you. But how do we want other masses to know that Muslims are doing so much, but it is not being registered, it is not being recognized? How do we do that? It's in order for us to have a representation on the media. So I would like to request Sister Rifat Malik to give us a snapshot less than 2 minutes, because that's the job of the media, to get the word out because the attention span of any human being is less than 30 seconds. So let's see if she can finish her presentation in less than 2 minutes. Please give her a round of applause. She was able to help us during the ISNA convention. She has helped us publish several articles for North Texas Islamic Council. She runs her own media outlet. She works for BBC London.
So I'm going to do a minute 30 and he's going to do a minute 30.
Good,
so
good.
Promise we'll keep to time. Assalamu alaikum, welcome. My name is Rifat Malik, as Brother Majid said. I'm excited to say a few words about American Muslim Today, which is a Muslim-led, non-profit, daily digital news platform that I help to run, and it's the only one of its kind in the US. Our mission is to use local and public service journalism to transform the narrative about Muslims. We challenge negative stereotypes in the mainstream media by uplifting and amplifying the diverse voices from African American, Hispanic, South Asian, and Arab Muslim communities who are too often ignored or marginalized. At AMT, we're breaking barriers. With thousands of articles tackling critical issues since we launched in 2019, we're proud to be a trusted source for facts, insight, and advocacy. We've been on the front lines during both the 2020 and 2024 US elections, empowering Muslim votes through our Get Out the Vote campaigns, fact-checking initiatives, and community events. We're not just reporting the news, we're sparking civic engagement and transformative action. As a multimedia platform, AMT uses written articles, videos, and social media content to reach a wider, younger audience. We have podcasts to do that, we have Muslim Viewpoint, and we also have a public health and well-being podcast as well. But I want Dr. Khan to come, who's our board president, to tell you a little bit about an initiative that we've been working on that is specifically for non-profits like mosques to help them get out their media message.
Thank you very much. I think I've got another 30 seconds to finish. Back in the days when I was a resident in New York, there was a student with us, a resident, who went in to see a patient in the ICU. And what happened is something very astonishing when he came out. The patient had accused the doctor to be that some foul play was done. I remember 5 years afterwards when we finished our residency and I was a consultant afterwards or a physician, the poor guy was still there fighting for his reputation. At that time, it was flashed over the newspapers that this sort of event had happened and the other person was very well connected. And I think that's where MMC comes in. This consultancy firm is to represent the Muslims. We do marvelous work. We've heard a lot of good representatives doing excellent work. And what we are here to enhance is make sure we amplify those voices properly. There is a lot of initiatives that are being done. We want to make sure they are portrayed excellently across the board. So for crisis management, whether you have press releases, whether there is video content, or whether there is articles of journalism to be written, MMC is, I think, the place to come. We have a little brochure outside, and me and Rifat will be here to answer any questions. So please reach out to us. Thank you very much, board members.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah, we are down to last three presenters, and then we will have our guest, a special guest with us who have traveled all the way from Pakistan, doing an amazing job. Can I ask Dr. Zubair to give us a quick rundown on just awarding the family a flag or a shield is one thing, but honoring him with something that he has left behind is another step that we should take. For that, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Can you guys hear me okay? Thank you. I'll try to keep it within 2 minutes. Just let me know if I go over time. So, my name is Zubair. I am a family physician. I was Dr. Shakil's colleague and friend, and really considered him a mentor over the last 15 years that I knew him. I considered him my elder brother, and I know for a lot of you guys that knew him more than I did, his presence, wisdom, and leadership is really truly missed. About 7 years ago, one of the physicians in our in the department had a sudden onset of abdominal pain, and it's a testament to Dr. Shakil as a person that he actually took that person to the emergency room, stayed with him for over 6 to 7 hours when he really didn't have to, till everything was looked at, and then actually was able to send him home. That's the kind of person Amir was. But that's not only unusual for somebody like him. On the medical side of things, he was at UT Southwestern where he was all these years. He was a pillar over there. He was an institution. He mentored countless medical students. He mentored countless residents. He was the chair of the department. He brought in faculty and mentored them to flourish. I was one of those, fortunate enough to be one of his mentees. And I ended up being the program director for the residency for the last 9 years. Fast forward to now, my successor, Dr. Jetpuri, is also a Dr. Shakil protege. He mentored her all the way from high school. She trained at UT Southwestern, is now a faculty. I can tell you countless other details, and most of you probably know more instances than I do about Amir and his vision and his wisdom and his leadership. So at UT Southwestern, we want to keep his legacy alive. This is really important to us. We want to establish an endowment called the Amir Shakil Endowment Professorship in his name at UT Southwestern. I want to tell you one thing. UT Southwestern by itself has many, many endowments as a national institution. There is not a single endowment at UT Southwestern in the name of a professor from our community. This would be the first one overall. This will allow UT Southwestern to continue attracting exceptional educators and leaders in family medicine, and will allow us to ensure that Amir's value of excellence, education, and services are carried forward. What you see behind me is a QR code. This actually helps for all of you to individually donate if you can, and also with all the imams and the masjid leaders that are here to have individual fundraisers if you can. I am actually very happy to come to all of the 100+ massages in the North Texas community and pitch for this endowment to happen. This is an investment in the future of healthcare for our community, and that has all come together to ensure Dr. Shakil's legacy of compassion, education, and leadership continues for generations to come. And congratulations to the family on the award. And I'm sure all of you are with me when we say that Amir is truly missed overall in that sense. Jazakumullah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before I request Mayor to say a few words, I want to ask you to witness that we have with us literally a legendary doctor who has devoted everything that he has for his cause, and that is to serve the people in Pakistan. Cancer Research Center that he has opened, a hospital to the size that is beyond imaginable in a country where what was amazing to me when Dr. Saab told me that is the only hospital in Pakistan that does not have a cash register. So everything is offered absolutely at no cost to the Cancer Research Center. Before I invite him, I would like to request Mayor to say a few words in the honor of Yasser Arafat. I just put you on the spot.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for including me. It's truly a privilege for me to be with you this evening. You know, when I look at people, I don't really see men, women, color of skin, religion. I just look at people. And for me, that's the most important thing. Now, saying that, I was fortunate to be on the planning and zoning and the council when the first mosque was built on Esther's, and I've been able to see the growth. I've seen the school grow. I've seen the Science Center come into play. Then there's a new building being out there. I was also fortunate to be involved with the mosque up in Valley Ranch. We had the library that we were no longer using. We were able to start the mosque in that facility. And then I was able to be on the council as we broke ground on that and as we've had an open house. For me, the real challenge is there's a lot of things going on in the world. But the reality of it is it all starts at home. You've got to feel comfortable that you can practice your religion, you can practice your faith, you can practice your traditions, and you can have a family around you. And you can have your family around you. So to me, that was the basis of everything that we do in the community here in Irving. When I left after I left at being the city council member, they asked me to come back as mayor, and I was like, well, I've been retired for a few years, and I don't know about my wife wanting to do this, but Yasser was one of the people that twisted my arm, and he really started out to really sit down and talk to me, and he was a little leery. He wasn't sure that I was going to be who he thought I was going to be, but I think we developed a great relationship, and because of that, so many great things have happened in our community. I want to really recognize the people that in your communities that have stepped forward. Nuzad High has done an amazing job bringing the young people together. I mean, that's what it's all about for us, for all of us. Being able to have a home, to raise our children, educate our children, and know that they can have a quality of life so they can have a family. And the education system here in Irving was a little bit unusual. There was still a lot of, what I would say, when I first moved here, there was 87% looked like me. Today, 9% look like me. There was still a lot of prejudice that were out there in the world. And she was able to break through those prejudice and to show people that she was a person just like everyone else. And her family has done an amazing job, and I look forward to the day when I can support her to run for the city council, because I know that's the next place she needs to be. Thank you. Thank you. And then here's my dear friend that serves on the city council with me. We had many, many times together, shared many, many meals together as we were, Abdul was contemplating, and when the time came, he's really stepped up in the arena. And this last year now, he's going to be in charge and working with our community development block grant, looking at our housing projects and the money that we have coming in all different areas from the federal, the state, and the local. So he'll be working with that. And then Yasser, of course, I'll give him one last punch. He's on our planning and zoning, or he's not planning and zoning, that's where I'm trying to get him. He's on our Convention and Visitors Bureau, and he's bringing in an art exhibit from Pakistan that will be shown in our facility. So, Yasser, thank you for bringing the culture forward so we can take it over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to mention that we are working with Yasser, with the city of Dallas also. We are trying to get our Masjid al-Islam to be recognized as Masjid of Heritage for North Texas. And that is something that we are working with Yasser at the city of Dallas. Also, we are working for Islamic Association of North Texas to be recognized as a masjid. So these are the things that NTIC provide a platform where we can work on different area. There other masajid are working and making impact locally. So we are very blessed and honored to have an esteemed group of brothers and sisters in this gathering who represent different larger organizations in North Texas. So we are very grateful. If I start mentioning their name, so I will not be able to do justice. So please accept the best reward that I can ask that you can get from today is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let me say this, Jazakumullahu khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for being here, being patient. We are doing great on our time, inshallah. So this gathering would not have been possible without our sponsors. So we have two sponsors with us, and I would like to request the one who came from the farthest across the Atlantic. He traveled all the way from Pakistan to share the wisdom and the vision that he has for the hospital. And I'm going to bring Dr. Shahryar. He's a professor by profession, and he has dedicated his life to serve the humanity. This is not a fundraising, just to give you clear pictures that don't feel sad. But at the same time, I should not close down the door of Khair. If you want to donate, please reach out to him directly. But as we promised, this is not fundraising, but with the help of these two sponsors, with him and Bait al-Mal, we were able to put this program together. So, my esteemed member on the stage, if you're comfortable sitting here, you're welcome to. Otherwise, if you want to be seated and see what he wants to present, that would also be fine. With that, please give a Texas welcome to Dr. Shahryar.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mujib Qazi Sahab, for not imposing the rule of 3 minutes on me, but I do volunteer to be concise and to cut the whole story to less than 3 minutes. Thank you very much. I'm much thankful to the NTIC for giving me this opportunity to present the case of Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center Lahore. But before that, it's a singular honor and a privilege for me to be the part of this such a big occasion and to be with such august body. It's very heartening to see the success story of the NTIC, and it's very heartening to see the success stories told by the individuals. And it's my pleasure and singular honor again to be talking to the august gathering of scholars and imams, and thank you very much for all that matter. I'm also thankful to our collaborators in Dallas who have been helping us in establishing this cancer hospital. By special thanks to Imtiaz Rahi Saab. Would you please stand up for a while, sir? He represents the APPAC and he has been with us. Mr. Nadeem Akhtar Sahab, who is also the representative of APPAC, he is also there. He has been helping us. And Dr. Amjad Sheikh, I'm really honored. I have stayed with him every time and he contributes a lot to the Cancer Care Hospital, and the Sister Ghazala Tariq, who travels with me, and and Raja Bhatti Sahab, who has been a constant support, and he has visited our hospital twice, and he donates large amounts, but he never let us mention the figures. And finally, thanks to Sister Ghazala, who has been traveling with us. So I share with you a simple success story. Pakistan had one cancer hospital. God bless Imran Khan. The hospital is excellent. Shaukat Khana Memorial Cancer Hospital. But you will appreciate that one cancer hospital for a huge population of 24 crore people is not sufficient. So we came up with second cancer hospital with the name of Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center Lahore. This hospital is unique in the sense that this hospital provides state-of-the-art treatment of cancer without charging a single penny. It is 100% free hospital. To best of my knowledge, this is the only hospital in whole of the world where the treatment of cancer is free. Consequently, we come across 800 to 900 cancer patients daily. And from where these patients come? Obviously, the majority comes from Pakistan, but we do get patients. 5 to 6 patients come to Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center Lahore from Afghanistan daily. Some come from Central Russian states. Others, our people, skilled laborers working in UAE, Saudi Arabia and Gulf area, they come. Patients from Ghana, Chad, Kenya, Nigeria, they come. Patients from Sweden, Denmark, Canada and USA, they come. I'll be showing you a small documentary and you will appreciate why those people are coming to this Cancer Care Hospital. This is the largest cancer hospital, a mega charity project, and please note, we have no political affiliation and we have no association with religious people or religious organizations. This is purely a humanitarian project, but interestingly, this project, which has spent billions on procuring state-of-the-art radiation machines, operation theaters, is entirely run by the zakat, is entirely run by the donation of people given here and in Pakistan. It's that sparrow which gives us a drop. You are the people who are going to give us a drop today. So please bear with me and watch a documentary, and that's all I have to say. All I had to say was that it's a singular pleasure of mine to present the case of Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center to such an august body. I'm really humbled. Thank you very much. Please share the documentary with us.
Thank you, Dr. Sandi. Thank you.
As you know, at Cancer Care Hospital,
Do you have a credit card machine here? No. Volume. We can pay on the let you meet the directors.
You can sponsor
No,
these
we can
patients
take
that
the
will
credit
bring
card.
smile on their faces with prayers for them. Here we also provide outpatient services to 170 to 200 cancer patients every day. Patients, they come from all parts of the country, from all the provinces of Pakistan. 10 dedicated, highly trained oncologists, they provide outpatient consultation. Individualized treatment plans are made, patients are counseled, and treatment plans are executed. We also have Pakistan's first emergency room for cancer patients. In the last 6 months, we have treated 3,000 patients who came to the emergencies. These emergency services and our OPD services are backed up by a state-of-the-art excellent laboratory. It provides all specialized tests for cancer patients. Please note, all these services are given free of cost. Radiology Department of Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center Lahore is a state-of-the-art diagnostic facility. We started a mass mammography screening program for early detection of breast cancer. For mobile mammography vehicles, our teams reach out to all provinces of Pakistan, including remote areas like Gilgit, Baltistan, Chitral, and provide mammography services at the doorsteps of underprivileged. We have conducted over 50,000 free of cost mammographies and detected around 400 early breast cancers and have treated them and saved their life using latest techniques like radiopharmaceutical devices and core biopsies. At times, over 40 breast biopsies are conducted in a single day. Indeed, this radiology department is the backbone of Cancer Care Hospital. Chemotherapy services were started in November 2021. Chemotherapy is prepared in biological safety cabinets under the supervision of pharmacists. 70 to 100 cancer patients of solid tumors get their chemotherapy daily. Please note, these chemotherapy services are totally free. Cancer Care Hospital and Research Center does not have a purchase system, a cash counter, or a billing system. 2 dedicated modular operation theatres for cancer surgeries. Senior anesthetists, senior surgeons, and intensivists make up the team. Thousands of breast cancer surgeries, hundreds of colorectal cancer and ovarian cancer surgeries have been performed without charging a single penny. Intensive care unit is available for patients